Good evening, everyone. Who's ready for another bedtime story? We have had a fantastic week this week, haven't we? And for those of you that have been following, joining in with the Facebook Lives, we've come up with our own stories. And earlier on today, we presented some of those. And if you missed that, if you missed any of the episodes this week, you can catch all of them on my Facebook page. And you can also catch up with them on my website as well. And on my website, you'll be able to see all of the other fantastic stories that have been sent in as well. So if you miss any of that, head on over to my website. And last week, I shared with you my first book. It was The Day Granny's Knickers Blew Away. So this week, I thought it would be right that I share with you my second book, which is The Day Granny Met the Queen. And I hope you enjoy it. This came out just before Christmas and before lockdown, before we got isolated. I just started to read this in schools and to share this story with the children in primary schools. So I didn't read it to that many children before lockdown came. So even now, this is still really new, and you will be some of the first children to hear this. So I would love to hear what you have to say. So if you've got any comments, please do leave them in the comments below. Ask your grown-ups to do that for me. Anyway, I think it's time for a bedtime story. The Day Granny Met the Queen. Early Monday morning, Granny Moon was set to go. She'd packed her bags the night before and charged her mobile phone. The train was packed with passengers for work and celebration. Choo-choo! It came to its last stop in London Paddington Station. She had a list of things to do before the day was out, like see Big Ben and London Bridge. No time to hang about. Now, first things first, she told herself. It's time to set the scene. I can't come down to London and not go and see the Queen. She got to Buckingham Palace at precisely 12:04. Her ticket was stamped. She joined the queue, excited for the tour. Please wipe your feet, the footman said. The Queen will go berserk. She spent all Sunday hoovering and won't want any dirt. The palace was ginormous, and though Granny was impressed, the tour seemed never ending. I could really use a rest. She found a chair to sit upon. My legs are getting sore. But her handbag caught a candlestick which tipped her through a door. Behind it was a passageway, kept secret, that's for sure. Where could this lead? She asked herself. Perhaps I should explore. 4 dogs ran past. Oh, that's very strange. Why would they be down here? Well, it can only mean one thing. The Queen is very near. Lo and behold, behind a desk, Her Majesty was sitting. You'd think that she was working hard, but she, in fact, was knitting. Good afternoon, please do come in, the Queen said with a smile. Let's talk and laugh as we drink tea. It's nice once in a while. So Granny sat where she was told. The Queen went for the tea, but quickly ran back in the room and said, My goodness me, we're out. We're out. We have run out of good old English tea. Whatever will the neighbours think? A state emergency. I tell you what, if you don't mind, I'll nip out to the store. Granny said, "Well, that's very kind, but only if you're sure." No sooner had the Queen walked out, a footman bounded in. "Your Majesty, you're needed now. The knighting must begin." So Granny Moon was whisked away, a crown placed on her head. There'd surely been a big mistake, but nothing more was said. She did the best that she could do, and hoped no one suspected. As long as Granny kept her cool, this may go undetected. The people knelt in front of her as Granny held the sword. She tapped their shoulders once each side and said, "Now rise, my lord." The service soon came to an end, and Granny wiped her brow. She sighed a sigh of sheer relief. "I'm glad that's over now." But before she had the chance to take the crown from off her head, another footman tumbled in. "Your car awaits," he said. True to his word, the royal car was parked up by the gate. Granny said, "I really think that we perhaps should wait. The Queen did say she won't be long and back here in no time, and acting as Her Majesty must surely be a crime." The corner store with bread and milk was not too far away. The Queen and royal family shopped there every other day. The Queen grabbed tea and biscuits, which were buy one get one free. "One has to dunk a bicky in a cup of rosy lee." Her Majesty now waiting for the self-serve scanning tills. With 6 people in front of her, the queue was rather still. She scanned the tea and biscuits when a voice tried to enlighten. "The royal shopping basket has an unexpected item." Frustrated and perplexed, the Queen did not know what was wrong. "I have a guest," she told the staff, "and I've already been too long." They helped her pay and packed her bags with little extra fuss. Her Majesty then left the store and headed for the bus. The double-decker 148, of course in crimson red, pulled up to let her get on board. "The palace, please," she said. Now Granny, still dressed as the Queen, pulled up to a large crowd. Outside a brand new library, and they were cheering rather loud. She cut the ribbon and pulled a cord, which unveiled a new plaque. "Welcome to this library now. I really must get back." As you might imagine, Granny Moon was getting nervous. "I really hope the Queen won't think I'm doing this on purpose." After all, she'd tried to say, but everyone seemed busy. "I did not come down to London to impersonate Queen Lizzie." Now Granny had returned, with luck, before Her Majesty. She put the crown back on its shelf and waited patiently. Pretty soon the Queen returned, now with a silver tray. "I'm sorry for the wait, but you just won't believe my day." They laughed and dunked their custard creams, which passed the afternoon. The Queen became more serious and said, "Now, Granny Moon, I understand you kindly did my duties for today. I'd like to say a thank you in a royal kind of way. You must come round for dinner soon. I make a lovely pie. And Royal Bingo Saturdays I think you ought to try." They said goodbye, and with a smile, Granny left the scene. Who knew her day would end with tea and bickies with the Queen? If ever you're in London, you should catch the 148, the bus that takes you right outside the Royal Palace Gate. The city's full of wonders, all awaiting to be seen. But you can't come down to London and not go and see the Queen. The end. I really hope you enjoyed that story, guys. And I'll be doing this every week now, a little bedtime story. So if you've got a favourite story that you'd like me to read, or perhaps you've got a story that you've not heard before, but you've heard about and you'd like me to read it, please do get in touch. Put the comments in the description below. And of course, let me know what you thought of this. And if you'd like your own copy of this or my other book, you can get them on my website as well. All the details I'll leave in the comments or in the description of this video. Anyway, thank you so much for coming to join me again tonight. Join me on Monday, 11 o'clock, and we'll be writing our very own stories again. I'm so excited. I can't wait. But for now, have a lovely weekend and have a great sleep. Good night.